New York Jets' newest head coach, Aaron Glenn, has just revealed the truth on what the New York Jets could be doing with Aaron Rodgers, whose future is a massive question mark hanging over the Jets' head, while the new Jets regime will figure out what their future lies with the NFL legend, and we're going to break this all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris here, and if you guys are liking the content, make sure to subscribe. It helps us out a ton. If you're part of that 80% not subscribed to the channel and you want daily New York Jets news, updates, TikToks coming soon, YouTube Shorts coming soon, a lot of fun stuff, live streams, make sure to subscribe. And if that sounds awful to you, then I don't know what you're talking about, man. But look, let's jump into this. Obviously, the Jets have a new regime as Aaron Glenn has been introduced as the team's head coach. Meanwhile, Darren Mougey has been revealed and has signed his deal to be the New York Jets GM. This is a new regime in New York, and Jets fans, for the first time in a while, have a lot of faith in this team. And, well, one of the big question marks hanging over everyone's head is the future of Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets and in general in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old. There's a real world where he retires out of nowhere. It's been unclear what he wants to do. But Rodgers, more than anything, has indicated that he does still plan on playing, or at least it feels that way every time he talks about it, and that he would like to play for the New York Jets and is openly willing to take a pay cut to play for the Jets, it sounds like. So it feels like everything should be perfect, but it's not. There's a real big question mark on if Aaron Rodgers is going to decide to return to the New York Jets. And that'll dictate a lot on how Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey will treat the offseason and the NFL draft in the process. So it will be interesting to see. Now, Aaron Glenn spoke on all of this at the Jets press conference. And just to take a look at all he said, first things first, Jay Glazer said that we don't know who the Jets quarterback is going to be. I talked to Aaron Glenn Sunday morning, and he said, I plan to go meet with Aaron Rodgers and will directly come up with a plan, with a decision much sooner than later. I don't want to drag this out, which is a great sign. On top of that, in the actual press conference, Aaron Glenn said, me and Mougey are going to sit and talk and go over the whole roster. I will tell you now that is going to be the answer to a number of questions when it comes to the roster in general. We are looking forward to that process. I can't tell you how long that process will be, but the thing is, we are going to make sure we get the right answer, and we are not going to rush this answer because we are not going to rush this answer. Aaron Glenn is the best, man. I love watching this guy talk. I clearly have not read this before filming the video. Now, on top of that, Aaron Glenn also more bluntly said, this is not about Aaron Rodgers. It's about the whole roster. I love you. No, like, seriously, I love you, Aaron Glenn. Like, I love you a weird amount. Never change. Look, I love Aaron Glenn. He's absolutely right. Don't make the whole thing about Aaron Rodgers. The Jets tried that, and it failed. The Jets tried a hybrid of that, and it failed. Now it's time to make it a team that has Aaron Rodgers, not Aaron Rodgers' team. That is what the Jets have to do. This is not the same guy who is winning MVPs with the Packers, though he's still a great quarterback and the best quarterback the New York Jets are going to find. Had a statistically good year last year. Obviously, the 5-12 is a blemish on that. The rest of it, the Jets quarterback played well. Yeah, he started the year slow, but by the end of the season, he looked really, really good. So I like Aaron Rodgers a lot for the Jets quarterback position next season. I think he's their best possible option at the QB role. Now, yeah, they could go elsewhere. They could look at Justin Fields as a bridge quarterback while they tank and go for Iamaleava or Arch Manning or potentially Drew Aller if Aller stays around, because that's going to be a stacked-up quarterback class. This one isn't, so avoid a quarterback. Take Will Johnson as a corner. Get that elite no-fly zone going, or draft another pass rusher. Draft an offensive lineman. Screw it. Draft a wide receiver, honestly. Draft someone that's not a quarterback, please, or a running back. But that's a different story for another day. And, well, if I try to tell that story without Matt being here, then he'll literally come to my apartment and toss me off my balcony. So we're going to avoid that till we can talk about that in the future. Stay tuned for Matt's mocks. But, look, I love this. I really do, because I like Aaron Rodgers a lot. I think he should be the Jets quarterback next season. I think he's the real hope that the Jets make the playoffs, because they're not going to find a quarterback good enough to lead them to the playoffs in free agency, because Sam Darnold is not coming back to the New York Jets. No one else is really trustworthy enough. It's hard to say the most trustworthy option. It's probably Jameis Winston. So unless you want to go down that road, which, I mean, it'd be fun, and it'd definitely be an entertaining style, it doesn't really feel like the move. Bring back Aaron Rodgers. Try one more year. It would only be his second year actually playing the quarterback position for the New York Jets since he got here. That is something to lean on. Outside of that, just trust that it's going to work. I mean, it's clearly your biggest option, or your easiest pathway to success, I should say. Also your biggest option to succeed, so I guess I would have been saying the right thing anyway, but you guys get the point. Now, taking a look at what Aaron Rodgers said, he said, I think everybody understands that it's going to come down to a GM and a coach and myself and whether we all want to do a dance together, if it's not in the cards, essentially. Which, right thing to say. I mean, he should talk to the GM and coach. And on top of that, it was also mentioned that if the Jets decide to cut or trade Aaron Rodgers post June 1st, same for if Rodgers retires while still on the Jets roster, then that $49 million dead cap charge can be spread over 2 years, $14 million in 2025 and $35 in 2026. The Jets would also save $9.5 million in cap space spent in this scenario, though that wouldn't affect their cap sheet until June 1st. If Rodgers returns in 25, the cap hit is small for a veteran quarterback, $23.5 million, but that doesn't factor in the $35 million roster bonus, which would be prorated through 2029 for cap purposes due to void years used not to spread out a cap hit even when a player is no longer on the roster. So if Rodgers sticks around with the Jets and doesn't adjust his contract, the dead cap charge will jump to $63 million in 2026, which then complicates things next offseason. I'll tell you right now, the Jets are going to definitely rework that contract if he decides to stick around with the team, which I think he should, and I think the Jets should. I think both sides should do this. The Jets can stretch that contract out so they're paying less money to Aaron Rodgers these few years and then just pay him even when he's gone. It makes the most sense. This happens in basketball. Sometimes if you're going to waive someone, it's called a stretch provision. It's essentially the same thing in football, except you could actually do it while the player's still on the roster, which is cool, and the Jets should absolutely go and do this. It just makes the most sense. Obviously, that predicating on the fact that Aaron Rodgers wants to come back to the New York Jets next season, which I think after everything that's been said in the press conference, it's gut check time for Aaron Rodgers. Does he like this? Does he like the energy that's being brought? Does he enjoy the fact that this is a team that clearly wants to win and is actually ran by smart people? And Woody Johnson saying that he's going to stay out of it. Like, it makes sense to me for the New York Jets to keep Aaron Rodgers around. That's what it says. That's what I see from this. I think they should do it. It just makes sense to try this for one more year with Aaron Rodgers. And if it doesn't work, oh well. But it's not going to work better with someone else. And the Jets should not try to make it work with someone else because it's not going to, at least this season. And yeah, you can get a fresh start on the tank and have a team go in and try to get high draft picks with a GM who, the 2 years that he oversaw drafts in Denver, they picked Bo Nix and they picked Pat Surtain. So the guy clearly has a good eye for draft selections, though we will see how this all goes down. I would bet it's going to happen in the next few weeks. Probably not till after the Super Bowl, but it could happen before. And, well, Aaron Rodgers, he seems like he wants to get this over with as well. He wants to make it clear. I think Aaron Rodgers wants to know that if he decides to stick around in the NFL, I don't think he wants to do a song and dance to figure out his next team. I think he just wants to know where he's playing for if he's going to continue to play. And I think if Rodgers continues to play, which I also think he will, I think it will probably be with the New York Jets. It just makes the most sense as of right now. If Matt McCarthy ends up somewhere, then maybe that fixes or changes things. But as of right now, I think we'll see Aaron Rodgers back in a Jets uniform next season. Comment down below what you think. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, guys, and go Jets.